So we have just narrowly avoided some Yetis. We have continued up into the snowier realms of the peak, and we are continuing on up the path. So I'm going to do a quick roll here and switch something. There we go. That's what I wanted. All right. The wind continues to pick up as you continue up this steeper path, and you continue out and above, the squabbling of the Yetis dissipating as the wind begins to howl around you. Yes, Oliver.
So now that I've had what I guess is my closest like a near death experience,
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to maybe be a bit more prepared for whatever is coming ahead. So
Okay.
before we like go too far, I'd like to, as a ritual, cast a telepathic bond on us, just so we have like communication in case like something like earlier I was like, how can I tell everybody that they can smell us, right? I was like, so with telepathic bond, that would be nice. I'd like to cast it as a ritual, and
Mm.
additionally, mage armor, because ooh, that was scary.
Uh, telepathic bond. Remind me, is that one is not communication, or I'm sorry, concentration, correct?
Correct. It is not.
Because I
It
believe
is not
mage armor
concentration.
is correct.
Oh, is it?
It's been a while.
Uh, it's not. Thankfully,
It's not. Okay.
it's not. It
Maybe it's
lasts for eight
shield I'm
hours, which is
thinking of.
nice. Shield, I think, is
No.
a reaction.
Yeah, shield is a
Okay.
reaction and
I
is
don't
not
remember.
concentration.
Yeah, yeah,
I've
yeah, yeah.
used
Something.
that
I remember
spell.
looking at somebody's sheet and I was
It's
like,
a
"Oh, look
good
at these
spell.
defensive spells that are
Mhm,
all
mhm.
concentration." I don't
That's me because I'm
remember.
very scared of everything.
I have quite a few concentration spells as well, such as Beacon of Hope and
Hmm.
Aura of Vitality, Brand
That may
Hmm.
have
Expunge,
been what I was
Blast.
paying
It might have
attention
been
to.
me.
Yeah, it's been a while. So,
Wow.
alrighty, up the mountain we go, and you continue on. Arbor, I assume that you are keeping a steady eye on the talisman as best you can.
Maybe too steady of an eye and not enough on my surroundings based on the dice we've been rolling.
That is
Poor
fair.
baby.
Yeah, the dice have
Maybe.
not been here for your stealth rolls.
Nope.
Not in the least.
May
Ugh,
If not for Path Without Trace, we would have been
it's true.
just
It's true. And they were hot
majorly
on your
confused.
trail too for a hot second there. They were ready. They were ready for some more dinner.
may I maintain my mage hand on Arbor just so you know it doesn't fall over or whatever.
Yes. Yeah, that should be fine.
Arbor, you cool with that?
You have my consent, please. I need all the help I can
All right,
get.
all
Yeah.
right, all
So
right.
that'll give you
I'll keep a
help
hand on him.
on your dex-based stuff, which will give you an advantage, as long as you are not also rolling at disadvantage,
Copy.
because they even out to a flat roll if something is giving you disadvantage. So, what else we got going on here? All right, up and onward. So, let's do another quick roll here.
I've got a couple of folks that don't have dark vision. Like,
That's
where are
true.
we in like the day progression? So I know we have
It
about 6
is
hours of
dark
travel
enough that
time.
you are in low light.
Okay.
You are still in the early afternoon, but the storm has created enough an occlusion that you have low light that you are struggling with at this point. And it is
Probably
windy. That wind that you saw out on the mountains, like away from the basin when you were down in the basin, it has gotten to you now. It is challenging.
I would likely, with the the light dimming and the wind picking up, start to find a not so occupied cave
Okay.
or some place of cover, whether it's recessed in the rock face somewhere that we could set up a fire and potentially um, pseudo safely rest, knowing darkness is only going to get colder and more dangerous.
Yes. It is early in the afternoon still. I would also have you roll me a survival check really quickly.
Sure.
Oliver, did you have a question?
Oh, if we're stopping to rest, I also have access to Demon's tiny hut. Should give us some shelter if it gets too cold.
Good point.
No, as we go forward.
Kellum, you know that this storm is going to get worse before it gets better. You don't have a great sense of how quickly it's going to get worse, but you know it's going to get worse before it gets better. And stopping somewhere along the mountain with your experience with various weather at this altitude, if you stay somewhere too long, you are likely to get stuck
It's still
for
too
some
low.
unknown amount of time.
Yeah. So it's in that weird in between of if we stay too long, it's too low to get stuck. But if you push too hard, it's going to potentially get extra exciting.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'll probably relay that. Just kind of like we really do need to push forward, even though it's dark and windy. Like the next couple days might be tough, but we need to keep going as far as we can.
So you continue, you forge forward. All right. You are able to get to a few points where you can tell, especially with that high of a survival check, you can tell that there are some deeper snowbanks that you are able to walk over because of your snowshoes and your enchanted boots, that make it possible to traverse more easily over top. But you can tell that if you cracked this layer over top, you'd have a snowbank that you could sink down into, which would protect you from the wind, but it would be difficult to navigate because you wouldn't have any kind of like visual sight line
Yeah.
at that point. But you can continue on, and as you continue upward for about another hour, you are actually able to hear running water. It's very faint. It's difficult to hear under the very loud wind, but you start to hear just a little bit of running water.
Does anybody else need to pee?
Classic.
I would definitely get Kellum's interest because it's quite high to be having running water
Hmm.
with the storm
And
happening.
cold.
And cold. Exactly. Like, this
Yeah.
is not normally where you hear running water from a distance.
Yep.
So likely, assuming it's in the same direction as we're traveling, keep an eye out and almost more focus on the water
Yeah.
out of
So
curiosity.
as you continue upward, you see there's a little area that has a few more deciduous trees around them, and there's still plenty of the conifers that you're used to being in this area. But you see and you start to hear some little chittering in the area as the rushing water gets a little bit louder. And you continue up and you see a very small open pool of water that is bubbling a little bit, and you see a small family of golden snub-nosed monkeys that are in and around the water and like grooming each other, and some of them have like some little morsels like nuts that they're eating and sharing amongst each other, and they're just kind of sitting there around the edge of the pool near the path, and they notice you and they
So this is a warm pool of
Spring?
water.
yes,
A natural hot spring.
and you can see the steam rising off the surface.
Edward immediately gives them like a wide berth. The man just does like a semicircle away, like casually just going, no, 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 no.
No.
Keep his comfortable distance.
Mhm.
Very comfortable.
Blep still had her sword out as they made their way up the mountain because who knows if somehow the Yetis got tipped off, and she's just going to, and just slowly put it away.
Casually put away the sword.
Yeah.
Very casually put away the sword.
The
Well-
monkeys are eyeing the group. A couple of them are like clutching the food that they have.
It's not typical that I would want to approach a group of monkeys, but seeing as I'm in a kind of weird headspace from the places we've seen, and I'm freezing because I have face planted in the snow, the
You did
idea
get dusted off a little bit, but
the idea of perhaps taking a dip in a hot spring is very appealing, especially because that feels like home to me.
yeah.
So I'm intrigued by these monkeys. I would, of course, want their consent since they were here first.
Okay. Let's call it an animal handling check, please.
Uh-huh.
You are doing your best to lean down and appear unassuming and be as attentive as you can, and you're gently like reaching out an arm so that you can be very calm and welcoming as much as you can be. And as you are leaning forward, you thought you had your cloak like gathered up around you, and instead it falls free and becomes this very large billowing bit of fabric and suddenly makes you appear very large and intimidating, and all of the monkeys are now screeching and posturing to warn you away from their territory.
Immediately back off.
And one
Go.
of the smaller ones will like hop along the edge of the pool and like get up closer to you, not leaving the edge of the pool, but like trying to chase you off, kind of like squirrels will yell at you from the trees and like chase you down a branch as far as they can.
Well, that answers that. We are not welcome here.
Would anyone else like to interact with monkeys?
No.
Edward is like, I will stay as far away as possible. Thank you.
Oh, yes.
I feel like Sir Bleb would want to try something where she would want to step forward towards the monkeys. 'Cause they're probably roughly the same size of her, maybe a bit shorter. She's only 3 feet tall.
They're quite
Um,
small.
Ooh,
They're
very small.
only about a foot tall.
Okay, so she'll sit on her knees, and she'll pull out a packet of rations.
Okay.
Even though she loves her snacks, she will unwrap it, and she will break off a chunk, and she'll kind of toss it between herself and like the nearest monkey.
Okay. Roll
in
me an
offering.
animal handling.
Okay. Let's oh boy. Haha. Let's see how well this goes. I have a +1. 19's not half bad.
That's not half bad. So you toss the little bit of the rations out in between you and the closest monkey, which is the one that chased Arbor away. And it watches the food land and very quickly, like, darts down to get it and goes back to where it was and munch, 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 munch. Is looking at you. It's eating the food. And the food is gone.
She breaks off another chunk and holds it out in her hand. It's okay.
Roll me another animal handling with advantage.
Ooh, okay. Oh, how do I do that in D&D? I have to hold shift, right? To do that.
Yeah.
Oh, that's how
shift will
that
do it.
happens.
Well, if you right click, it'll give you an option.
Looks like it only
it
rolled
work?
one.
It looks
so
like I only
try it
rolled
again.
the one
Yeah.
time, yeah.
You might have to if you click on animal handling, it'll show like a plus or a minus.
Oh, with advantage. There we go. How did I roll double 10s?
Perfect.
Oh.
So
great.
you
Ignore that.
hold the food out, and the monkey will grab the food and then snap at your paw.
Ow!
Ah, nah, 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 nah.
So uncivilized. And she'll just leave the ration behind and get up and walk away. No decorum whatsoever. Dust herself off.
Edward glances at Sir Blep, still at a very comfortable distance, and says, "Oh, that looked painful. Are you all right?"
Oh, I'm fine. I'm fine. It's nothing but a little scratch.
Oh dear. He takes a few more steps back.
I was kind of sitting like in between, kind of where Edward is and the pool, like kind of in the middle, kind of just keeping an eye on stuff. Kind of chuckles at the whole, like all the exchanges and watching it. Kind of like leave them be, just knowing it's not worth messing with them. Like,
I
okay.
have one last trick up my sleeve.
Okay.
I would like to cast Shape Water to change the color.
Interesting. All right.
Perhaps we could turn this hot spring a harmless blood red, which is just enough to get them to scurry away so that we are free to use the hot spring.
Harmless.
Harmless,
Okay.
odorless,
So
just blood red in color. It's a cantrip.
I don't remember if
Oh,
monkeys are colorblind.
Oh.
An excellent question.
Because there are a lot of mammalian species that have color blindness.
Cherny, why don't you know that off the top of your head?
I know, right?
How
You'd
dare
think
you
I would
not
know by
have
now.
encyclopedic knowledge of all creatures in existence?
Why did that get me, though? Just the very simple statement of, they could be colorblind. We're like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, like didn't even cross my mind. That was a thing to potentially consider is color
The monkeys
blindness.
are colorblind.
Good lord.
Also, apparently, there's been a ridiculous amount of research with squirrel monkeys being provided with genetic proteins to be able to see color. So I am going to guess, at a guess, that these monkeys are about the same size as squirrel monkeys. So I am going to say that they are also likely to possess color blindness. However, that does not deter this from having an effect. So
What is our level of light at the moment? Are we still mostly in dark vision?
you are in low light. So you were like an hour or so before true dusk. It is not dark. You can still see reasonably. You are having more interference from vision from the snow, though this particular area is a little more protected. Um you are having more difficulty seeing because of the snowfall than because of darkness.
So it's worth a shot.
Yeah, you have a chance. You have a chance. So go ahead and roll me a deception just to give me a baseline. What
My
is your spell save DC?
my +0 deception. Sorry.
Okay.
What was that?
What is your spell save DC?
I'm not quite sure
It's
what
going to
you're
be if you
asking.
go
I'm
into
sorry.
the larger box on your character sheet where it says actions and go over to the spells tab, the third number there at the top.
Gotcha. Oh, 14 save DC.
14. Awesome. Yes, Oliver.
Might I assist Arbor with prestidigitation to add an odd smell into the mix?
Sure.
Like
You
maybe
sure
make
can.
the area kind of stinky, right? Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
So someone peep in
Um
this pool, maybe.
what is
Sure,
your spell
sure.
save DC?
Mine is 16.
Excellent. And would you please also give me a deception check?
All right.
All right. Very good. So the monkeys around the pool um are still very leery of the group of you. The one who is like taken point has finished the bit of rations that he forcibly acquired from Sir Blep and has picked up the larger bit that she left behind and is carting it back over to his group. And they are kind of warily looking at you, but then you can see that they start to register that something is going on, and they kind of look at the group and look at the water and start to yip and hiss again a little bit and kind of collect themselves as a group and very grumpily leave the area and start to go up into the trees and off a little ways and try to find another place to be. But they're like making the hissing and call sounds back at the group very angrily that they've been displaced.
Well, I have no hesitation in putting a clothespin over my nose, so to speak, and stripping down and getting in this hot spring. I need it after this last little bit that we've been through.
Blep is just gonna stand guard. She is not participating in the hot spring shenanigans.
Alrighty.
Edward immediately looks away the moment Arbor strips. He's just like, whoa, okay. He's a gentleman. He doesn't please, some decorum.
His
But he's a woman.
sensibilities.
I'm just a little guy. I just have a couple feathers. It's nothing. You don't gotta make it weird, Edward. Come here,
Yeah.
just take a little dip.
Actually,
Oh.
that's a good point. Arbor, you are no longer under your cloak.
Oh no.
Oh,
Would you
no.
like
What does
to
that
describe
mean?
some of the shape that has been hidden by that garment?
Yeah, so the rest of the party likely notices that my skin is a little more feathery than they perhaps realized up until this point.
Huh.
And since I'm no longer wearing any other garments, more attention is drawn to the more infernal tiefling fur demon-like appendages and the discoloration around the, the end of those, the phalanges, so to speak. And when I turn around and get in, you notice that there were wings under there. There was a mass underneath my cloak that was pretty unseeming up until this point, but as I turn around, I sprawl them out and just soak up the nice warm spring water.
So that's why you couldn't see in the dark. Okay.
No, I can see in the dark because I'm a tiefling.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And I'm a
My mistake.
winged variant out of the tieflings.
For some reason, my brain was like, winged variant tieflings can't see in the dark. That's incorrect. They lose like hellish rebuke or something like that.
Yes.
My mistake.
Yes.
I think after noticing the feathers, Edward is no longer like, have to show decorum, shouldn't look, and he's suddenly like, whoa, I'm intensely intrigued. Feathers and winged creatures really interest him. And he kind of starts taking a few steps forward, but he's trying to still be a gentleman and be like, but he's now very intrigued, and he keeps inching a little bit closer to the hot spring.
And I am blissfully unaware of the fact that you're trying to politely avert your gaze because I'm just in bliss right now. I'm so excited to like be home or somewhere that feels like home.
Yeah. Oliver and Kellum, what are you guys doing during this time?
I feel like Callum wouldn't have really seen tieflings before.
Mm.
Like, I've been around cities, so I may have run across them, but most of my time spent more in the wild or dealing with natural things. So I'm a little taken aback. But I think just because we've spent some time already, kind of as a group knowing Arbor already, it's not like anything significantly different. But I'll probably still kind of be a little weary and just kind of find a bit of cover in a rock or something and just kind of sit there more focused on the path than focusing on the other stuff and just letting that be and kind of process that in the back of my mind.
I have never seen a tiefling with wings in my entire life. I imagine there are tieflings from where I'm from, but one with wings is like, cousin? Question mark.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I have no idea. I'm just like, oh wow, that's new.
I feel like Blep is absolutely unfazed. She's like, winged creatures exist. No big deal.
Yeah.
No biggie.
This
Like
guy is
Oliver exists. Yeah, he's
This one is
friend-shaped.
friend-shaped. Yes. I love that. So you have a moment to kind of breathe here. But who all is standing guard? Blep said you were. Kellum is.
Yeah, more off towards the mountainside, not really facing
Yeah.
the water.
Arbor, I know, is not. Edward is preoccupied with Arbor at the moment. What is Oliver doing?
I'd say at this point, since I'm not very used to walking, I've taken a seat and I'm rubbing my feet.
Very nice. Alrighty. So with that knowledge, Sir Blep and Kellum, if you would please roll me some perception checks.
Absolutely.
Sure.
Perception.
Alrighty. So the storm is holding steady right now. There is a little bit of occlusion here. You've got a little bit of a crest. in the surrounding mountains. So you've got a little bit of protection from the wind. You can tell that it is still snowing, but you're a little more protected and it's less intense thanks to the warm water and the heat in the area. But you notice that the chittering of the family of monkeys seems to have dissipated. Like, you don't remember them being fully gone. Like, they were still sulking over in the trees, but they're gone now. And things seem oddly quiet. Yes, Oliver. I'm so sorry.
No worries. So I also have in my repertoire Find Familiar.
Mhm.
I'm assuming that I already have cast this before, and you know how like you can unsummon and summon your familiar at will.
Yeah.
So I produce Oliver 2, my owl familiar.
Mhm. Excellent.
Mini birth.
And I think I would like to have him scout around a little bit just to
Okay.
see what's happening.
Bear in mind that if your familiar goes too far
Yes.
out, he's going to run into the storm. So you've
Oh,
got
okay.
probably a 20-foot radius that he can move in freely. And then beyond that, there's going to be a significant change in difficulty.
I'd rather keep him safe.
Okay.
So yes, and as long as it's the surrounding area and just look out for anything weird, right?
Okay.
Right.
Um, yeah. Are you connecting with your familiar so that you are, I forget what the spell is offhand.
Yes, yes.
Are you
So I can, if I'm within 100 feet, my vision can become like connected to his vision, so I can see
Yes.
through his eyes and
Yes.
hearing as well, if ever. Yeah, I'll do that.
Awesome. So you cast the spell and your
Hmm.
immediate awareness of your surroundings transfers as you are familiar with, and your owl takes off and goes off in a little sweep of the area, and you notice off kind of to the northeast, he gets a little uneasy and kind of doubles back in that area a couple of times. There's something over there. The trees
Okay.
don't smell right.
Hmm. All right. I tell him to come back, and I try to get the attention of friends who know about nature, because I, um, my owl Oliver too. Have I introduced you guys? Seems to think there's something wrong with the trees that away. I don't know what that means, but mayhaps we should check. Because the monkeys have stopped making noises, and that's a little scary. It's a little concerning.
Blep kind of looks to Kellum, sword up, and just goes, "Shall we?"
Yeah, so where is northeast? Like the trail, or
It
is it like
is
is it?
further out into the wilderness. It's away from, it's kind of perpendicular. That path is going to take you perpendicular to your path of travel. Um, and it's away from the center of the mountain.
I'll grab the bow, knowing something's there,
Hmm.
and kind of stay low.
So just to establish, I'm going to have Kellum and Sir Blep roll into initiative because we're starting to split the party here. Oliver, are you staying at the springs or are you going out exploring?
Mm, I think since I am sending friends that way, I'd like to be there with them too,
Okay,
just in
I'll
case
have you
something
roll
happens and I'd
initiative
like to
as
help them.
well.
Okay.
And Edward and Arbor, you are both staying at the Springs for right now?
Yep.
I think Edward notices the three kind of going, but he's not going to go with them yet. It's grabbed his attention, so he has his crossbow out and just
Okay,
holding the line to be safe.
right. Arbor, I will point out that your DC has reduced to 10 plus your dexterity because you are not wearing any armor or armor items.
Yep. Well, I'm cool to chill here because it's gonna take a little bit to get me out. I'm so comfy cozy right now.
Arbor's just
Living his
in the
best
hot
life.
tub, like don't even notice. Like
I could care less what everybody else is doing because I'm just in a state of bliss right now.
Mhm.
And I'm
Arbor
not
is the girl in
like-
the horror movie.
yes. Oh my gosh,
Not
absolutely
paying
yes.
attention.
But I do have the alert feat. So while I noticed that everybody has sort of wandered away to do their own thing, I have no concerns about it.
Yes.
I just picture Arbor like sitting like head on the snow with like the wings out facing away from the party. The rest of us are kind of crawling forward and he's just like taking a power nap. Like, no,
Yeah.
no big deal.
I don't
Only
care.
warm time.
Yeah, I'm
Only
good.
warm times.
You're fine.
Alrighty.
Uh,
So for the sake of
This
this,
is a sorry.
Edward and Arbor will be at the bottom of initiative. You are not in combat. This is a loose initiative to make sure that we can move through everything in a sensible manner. Oliver, did you have another question?
Yeah, no. Just as a reminder, we still have telepathic bond up.
Yes.
So in case bad things happen, we can just like think at each other.
Yes.
Yes.
As they approach the tree line, Sir Blep would like to cast Bless on her more ranged companions.
Mhm.
So it would be Kellum, Oliver, and Edward, who's holding the line further back. So all of you for the next, I believe, minute. But if we're about to enter combat, you get a D4 to add to your attack roll or saving throw before the spell ends. And you get to add that to your total when you attack.
It can do that after the initial roll, or does it have to be declared up front?
So you have to declare it up front before knowing the results. But when you roll and add your modifier,
Yeah.
you can then also roll D4.
Yeah, it's separate. Got it. Okay.
Nice.
Just want to clarify if it was before or after a result.
All right. So the three of you forge into the forest. Kellum, what would you like to do first?
I'll definitely have an arrow knocked, kind of ready. I don't want to
Okay.
go too far forward, but kind of stay. I'll say in between. Like go another 15 or so feet up,
Okay.
keen forward, but attentive of the group that is behind at
Right.
the pool.
So I'm going to have this first movement be kind of up to the threshold of the weather. So you guys are about 20 feet away from the hot springs themselves. So you are not having to contend with weather yet. Sir Blep. Or, I'm sorry, no, Oliver goes next. Oliver, what would you like to do? You're muted.
Apologies. Clearly I'm not used to it, right? Sorry. Anyway, so just as I'm sure the party knows this by now, at least in character. But Oliver is also the type to not be very inclined towards hurting people. Not that I would like stop anybody from like defending themselves or whatever, but just so you know, I'm not packing anything that deals damage. I'm just like doing support stuff, right? So in this case, I'm thinking about moving over to Kellan, and would you like to become invisible?
I won't say no to that.
All right. So I move over to Kellum. I poke him gently on the shoulder, and I cast Greater Invisibility on him. Boop.
Ooh. Greater invisibility. Breaking out the spicy spells.
All right. Sir Blep.
Sir Blep, carefully as she can, trudges forward into the forest, casts her bless, and starts peering around for any signs of danger. She resists the urge to call out for whatever fiend in the forest there is to show themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And kind of steels herself for whatever is going to come next.
Okay. Do you have an action or a bonus action that you'd like to prepare?
A bonus action?
Because bless is an action, right?
That is correct. However, all of my bonus actions are also spells on top of that, so technically I cannot
Gotcha.
cast them.
Very
Yep.
good. Edward, you feel that familiar itch around your ear again. Give in.
Edward really just kind of scratches all over around his neck. He's not sure if he wants the voice to zip it right now or if he just really wants to know. So instead, he kind of shakes his head, steels himself even more, and turns to Arbor. And he says, keep your guard up. I don't know what's going to happen, but something is going to happen. And as he says it, he starts shifting around a little bit. He's trying to find out where he needs to go if he needs to go. Because he doesn't know yet.
I'm like, I'm sure it's gonna be fine, and sink lower into the pool.
Harper's just not having it.
Unbothered.
I envy you.
Is Arbor making a stealth roll? Is he like hiding in the hot spring, or is it just that he's
That is the move.
okay?
That's
All right.
the coping mechanism.
Good. Excellent. Would you please roll me a stealth check then?
Oh my god.
Not too shabby, given the other
We were in
stealth
the
rolls that
snow.
you have had.
Everybody did
Not too bad. Hilarious.
You got the reed. Underwater with the reed, just
Never interrupt a tiefling on a spa day.
Yeah. Yes.
So question.
Mhm.
Is whatever that's happening to Edward apparent to us because of the telepathy or no?
No.
Okay. Fair.
No. So now I will roll some initiative.
No, thank you.
I will take that 19.
No.
Oh,
thank
that's
you.
rude.
No.
So, as you look out into the woods, the three of you who have taken point see a dark, large quadrupedal shape move from behind one of the trees and take a moment, and you see it lift its head, and you see these sickly, unnaturally yellow eyes as it lifts its head and howls into the storm. Kellum, you are up.
Would I recognize the shape or the howl?
It's quite
With
possible.
my beast is one of my favorite enemies.
Yes,
General
it's
beasts.
quite possible. If you would like to give me either, what are your bonuses for that? Nature or survival? With your ranger skills?
Take advantage on survival checks to track your favorite enemies or recall, as well as on int checks to recall information about them.
Excellent. So let's do a nature check with advantage.
Okay.
Ooh, 23. Very nice. You know exactly what this is. You've run into them before. This is a dire wolf. However, you have never seen a dire wolf with yellow eyes like this. Something else is happening here.
Okay. Yay. just yay. I could it's quickly with the telepathy, right? I'm not sure exactly how that spell works.
We're
So, like,
basically in a group Skype
with-
call in our brains.
Yeah, it's like unnatural dire wolf kind of thing. Like not a long conversation, but like not good. And I'm ready to fire. I'll actually go ahead and make sure this story works. Been a while. Can I bonus action cast Ensnaring Strike?
Yeah.
So the next time I hit a character, it'll wrap it in thorns, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
So I cast that, and I'm going to go ahead and attack with that readied action the dire wolf.
Okay. Go ahead and roll that attack. Whew, that is a very nice attack. Please tell me max damage and add a damage roll.
Max damage would be 21. I have a crit damage. Just roll as flat. Do a flat roll.
Yeah, do a flat damage roll with your ensnaring strike.
Okay. So there's the flat roll for the damage from the arrow.
Mm-hmm.
Ensnaring strike is an extra. Do a saving throw. The character must do a saving throw
Saving
or
throw.
be restrained again for strength. DC is 15. A large or larger creature has advantage on a saving throw.
Okay. What was the DC? 15?
15.
Okay. So the wolf saves from the ensnare, and that was 33 damage. Alrighty. The arrow sinks into the chest of the dire wolf. You got a very good strike, a clean strike on that animal. And you hear it stumble in the snow. You can see the shape falter, and you hear a cry from the animal. And the glow, the sickly yellow glow, flickers for a moment. But it steadies itself and snarls and lunges towards you for a bite attack. That is not what I wanted. I wanted this. There we go.
What?
So it lunges, but the arrow still impedes its running, and as it goes to leap, it falters and just kind of body blows you a little bit. It misses with its teeth and just kind of glances off of you. Yes.
So even if he's invisible, the
Oh, he's
dire wolf will
invisible.
go
That's
for him?
right.
With
So
invisibility.
that would be a disadvantage anyway. So he lunges in the direction of the arrow, but can't find you in the snow. Let's see. Who's up? Oliver, it's you.
Oliver.
So the wolf is right next to me, right? Because I was whooping
Yeah, quite
whooping
close.
the
Yeah.
friend for the invisibility. So it's like it's a wolf. So I don't think it can
It is a
get
large wolf.
how high is like the ceiling on this place, if there's any?
There's not really a ceiling. There's a little bit of an outcropping, probably
Mm-hmm.
15 feet up. The dire wolf is at the shoulder, probably 9 feet tall.
Ooh, so if it jumps, it can still get me.
Large beast.
Ooh, so flying away might not be the best idea.
Yeah. So it's not a large dog. It is a large beast. Yeah.
Through my telepathic bond, I just say, "Help!" And then I just take the dodge action.
Okay.
It's right next to me. It's like, help.
Very good. Excellent. I love it. Do you want to use your movement to move away? You have movement, action, bonus action. So
That
you've
would
got. You are not
that would give
actually
it an attack
in.
opportunity, right?
Yeah, you won't incur attack of opportunity because you
Oh,
kind
all
of
right.
stumbled away.
Okay, so I'll fly up and away as far as I can, and then dodge action.
Awesome.
That's it. I'm good.
Perfect.
Mm-hmm.
So you were like kind of back over by the hot spring now with that amount of
Sure.
movement. You took your full movement. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. So you
30
were
feet
kind of
fly
back
speed,
over
yes.
by the hot spring now, closer
Mm-hmm.
to Edward. Sir Blip, what you got?
Mute.
Microphone.
Dang it.
Amazing.
I got so
Energy. Be
excited.
star.
I loved watching that silent scream though.
Yeah.
Perfect.
So, Sir Plep, as a bonus action, lets out a Super Saiyan-esque yell, ah! And casts Divine Favor on herself,
Okay.
and runs forward with her long sword to attack the beast twice. So Divine Favor
Okay.
empowers me with Divine Radiance until the spell ends. So within a minute. Oh shoot, this is concentration that would disrupt Bless. Never mind, we're not doing Divine Favor. Never
Okay.
mind.
All right.
Disregard that. She still yells though. Because Corgi.
Because
She's going
Corgi.
to attack it twice, double-handed with her long sword. So if it hits, it's a D10 plus 2.
All right.
Bonus action yell.
Give me that roll.
Yee. So there. Oh, that's the wrong thing. I clicked the wrong thing. Please ignore that. Please ignore the long
That's
sword
funny
damage.
because I
That is
clicked my damage first too.
incorrect.
Just assume it's gonna hit. Fine.
Please love me. Yo, that's a cat 20.
Oh,
Wait,
alrighty.
how do I roll the damage off of this?
So give me your flat max damage total.
Flat max damage with that would be 2d10 plus 2, so that's what, 22?
22, yep.
And then second attack We'll see what happens. It's 11. The balances
Okay.
out.
With go ahead and roll your damage on the first hit.
Mm-hmm.
So roll your dice and any bonuses you have.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it is a D10 plus 2, but it changed to 2D10 plus 2 when I crit. I see. I understand
Okay.
now. I mucked that up. That is my mistake. I'll be mindful.
So your
of that in
base
the
damage
future.
max is what?
22. Oh, I'm sorry. Base damage max is 12.
12.
But
Okay.
yes.
And then your rolled damage
Roll
for
damage.
that one hit? Yeah.
3 plus 2, 5.
5. So you have a total of 17 damage
Yes.
on that crit.
Yes.
So, Sir Blep, you yell and run at the dire wolf. And you sink your sword right into the body of it.
Mm.
And the weight of it pulls your sword tip down to the ground as it slumps to the ground.
Oh!
And you see it look at you, and the yellow fades from its eyes, and you see its natural eyes, and it collapses on the ground.
She kind of in shock and surprise withdraws her sword, just goes, that went a lot more quickly than I thought it would. Could I possibly make a religion check or an arcana check on what I just saw? 'Cause that
Hold
seems...
on to that.
Yeah.
Edward and Arbor, I'm going to have you roll your initiative checks.
Oh boy.
And I am going to add...
Oh boy. Okay.
Oh no.
Buddy.
Oh no.
That's a 10 on initiative.
Oh no.
Oh dear. I don't like the silence.
Arbor, did your initiative check go through?
The stealth check?
Initiative check. So roll a
Oh.
new initiative check.
Can do. Oh, I just saw the button. Where is it?
Button.
Right next to armor class.
Oh, thank you.
I got you.
My little goose eyes today, they're not working like they should. Oh,
And a
no.
Use
All right,
perception,
DM,
not so
where are you
high.
going with this, DM? Where are you going with this?
I'm very
Hold up.
concerned.
Hold up.
Grab the
So,
spin right around Sir Blep. It's like, cool. Next.
you hear
Mm.
a strange and horrible ripping sound as one of the trees a ways it out from the clearing, about 40 feet out, twists and becomes that same sickly yellow that was in the direwolf's eyes.
Oh no.
What is happening?
Edward,
Oh
you hear again,
no. No, no, no.
give in.
No. 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 Oh shit.
And we are at top of initiative. Callum, what would you like to do?
I just see a tree in the distance
Yes.
that has like yellow.
It has become like sickly yellow bark. You and Oliver are the closest now. No, not Oliver. I'm sorry. Sir Blep and Kellum are the closest now. Have the easiest chance of seeing this. The bark has turned this weird ochre yellow, has gotten sort of a glistening color. You see an odd bulbous shape near the top with a slash across it. And it seems to twist. Have you ever heard footage of a tree getting struck by lightning? That crack is what you heard
Vaguely.
as the tree kind of split and splintered around this strange ochre creature.